You know, every now and then in sports, a single game just becomes legend. A performance that's so perfect, so clutch, so historic that it defines a player's entire season, maybe even their whole career. And today, we're diving into one of those nights, a performance that left even the absolute best in the world totally speechless.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. When your main rival for the MVP award, a guy who's won it 3 times himself, says something like this about you right after you just hit a game winner to beat his team, well, you know you just saw something truly special. That's Nikola Jokic talking about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
So to really get the magic of this night, you gotta understand the stakes. This was not just another Tuesday night game. No. This was a heavyweight bout, and it had a backstory. So on one side, you have MVP candidate SGA leading this powerhouse Thunder team. And on the other, you've got the dominant force, Nikola Jokic, the 3-time MVP and the rival Nuggets. But this was personal too. It was a rematch of this really fiery overtime game that happened just 10 days before. So yeah, the tension was already through the roof before they even tipped off.
The whole game was an absolute battle, but it all came to a head in this wild, chaotic, just unbelievable final 14 seconds of regulation. Okay, let's break this down play by play.
All right, so the clock is ticking down. Shai gets the ball up top. He sizes up his defender, hits him with this nasty step back, and just drills a three-pointer. The crowd just explodes. It absolutely looks like the dagger.
And that shot, it puts the Thunder up by 4 points. Now, with less than 14 seconds left, a 4-point lead in the NBA is basically a death sentence. The game is over, right? You'd think so.
Wrong. So wrong. In a completely chaotic sequence, Jokic hits a 3 for the Nuggets, but wait, a whistle blows. A foul was called away from the ball at the same time Jokic was shooting. So after a review, the officials rule it a 4-point play opportunity. The free throw is good, the game is instantly, and I mean shockingly, tied. And just like that, all that momentum is gone. All that work, the clutch shot just a few seconds before, completely erased. Now there are only 3.3 seconds left on the clock. Just one last chance.
So the ball gets inbounded, and everyone in the arena, everyone watching at home, we all know exactly who is getting this ball for one final shot to win it all.
Now, what's so cool here is the sheer genius in these few seconds. Shai gets the ball, and he immediately surveys the floor. He reads that the defense is cheating, they're ready to send a double team if he drives, so he doesn't drive. He creates just enough space with that signature step back to his right, and he executes. Swish. Game over. For real this time. This reaction, it tells you everything you need to know about what this moment meant. Shai is known for being incredibly cool, calm, collected. But after this shot, he's strutting around the court, waving his arms, yelling with the crowd. Even he knew this wasn't just another game winner. It was iconic.
But the story doesn't end with the buzzer beater, not even close. As the dust settled, the historical significance of what Shai just did started to come into focus. And the numbers, they are just staggering.
126. With this game, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander scored at least 20 points for the 126th consecutive time. It's a streak of just incredible consistency that dates all the way back to late 2024.
So who did he tie at 126 games? Just one of the most mythical figures in basketball history, Wilt Chamberlain. He matched a record that has stood completely untouched for over 60 years, since 1963.
But even tying Wilt, that was somehow just a footnote to his actual stat line. He didn't just score, he orchestrated a literally perfect offensive performance. He finished with 35 points, a career-high 15 assists, and, this is the crucial part, 0 turnovers. Not one. To put that perfection into perspective, just look at this list. Since the NBA started tracking turnovers back in the late 70s, only one other player had ever posted a game with at least 35 points and 15 assists with 0 turnovers. And that player? LeBron James. With this game, Shai made it a club of 2.
So what does it take to deliver a performance like this, under that kind of pressure, while making history? It all comes down to a mindset of just unshakable poise.
And in his own words, you can hear that intense focus. While the whole world is talking about him being in the same breath as Wilt and LeBron, he's actively trying to block it all out, keeping his mind entirely on the team's goal. I mean, that's just remarkable humility.
His coach, Mark Daigneault, he just sums it up perfectly. It doesn't matter if the team is up 20, down 20, or has 3.3 seconds to win the game, Shai's demeanor never changes. He has this supreme confidence and a calmness under pressure that is the true mark of a superstar.
So ultimately, we just witnessed a performance for the ages. One that combined incredible clutch shot-making, historic consistency, and just flawless execution. It was a masterpiece that cemented his place among the game's absolute elite. And it really leaves us all wondering, what on earth can he possibly do for an encore?